What's going on, everybody? It's Frito for Your Overwatch, here to bring you a video for the top 10 things that I think need to be patched immediately. This is my list of 10. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. I won't be going over hero balancing, because that's more of a discussion thing that me, Liam, and Eddie will do together. That way we can bounce the arguments back and forth. But I think these are things that are indisputable and need to be patched now. I know you guys have been enjoying Eddie the Chump's wonderful overlays and production value he's been putting into the videos he's been making. I'm not as talented as him, so I will not be having those yet. So I'll have to make up for it with charisma. Lord help us. Number 1, the AFK kick. Please let me know if any of you disagree. I think the AFK kicking mechanism in the game right now is dictatorial, is fascistic, it's Orwellian, it's like 1984. The game started, you're gonna play now, and if you don't, you're kicked. Even if you're in the warm-up process, the pre-game, even if your team is winning, you could be in a full party and it still kicks your buddy who just goes to grab a sandwich or a drink real quick. It's way out of whack. I think, if anything, it should bring up a vote to kick prompt, because then I wouldn't have to back out to rejoin my friends just because they step away for a minute. It doesn't take any of the things that can happen in the game in context. Maybe you realize that you're going to lose this side anyway and there's no chance for you to win, so the player goes AFK and waits for round 2 in order to do something really quick. Or he knows you're going to win anyway, so he can just stay in spawn instead of push that last point that looks like you're getting anyway while your friend does something. There's so many reasons why you wouldn't be actively moving while you're playing, and it doesn't make much sense to aggressively kick these players out. And I don't think that's a good environment to have for quick match anyway. Now, I imagine that Blizzard doesn't want to put vote to kick features in because they're usually really against anything that makes the players feel combative towards each other. But if you're not going to do that, then at least extend the time, because I think it's probably like 30 seconds or 45 seconds of AFK time and it kicks you way too fast. Number 2, I think skirmish mode should be something you can select. Now, multiple game modes and being able to select which game mode you want, I think, is a big ask for this game. It seems clear that Blizzard doesn't want to do that because obviously they know they could have done that. And since they decidedly didn't do that, then I doubt they're going to break down the different modes into playlists that you can join into and queue into. So that's probably beyond what we're going to get. However, I think there should at least be a warm-up function. Why? Because these little skirmish modes are happening anyway. I assume that the game is making these lobbies when the game is trying to find enough players to make an actual match. Why not let people queue into those modes if they just want to kind of derp around, mess with characters, or have a less intense gameplay environment? Because right now, we don't even have ranked yet, and for me, and I love this game to the bottom of my heart, the game is always pretty darn intense. And for somebody who wants something a little bit more light and casual, yeah, they have weekly brawl, but that can still be a bit hectic depending on the rule set. Some people just a little step back from that. And you don't have to collect any stats, you don't have to treat it as anything, you can just straight up call it warm-up, and I'll put you in a skirmish, let people just enjoy walking around getting some frags. Now, I didn't call it team deathmatch, okay? We don't have to have TDM, I know Blizzard doesn't want that, they want objective focus modes, and I know why, because the gameplay is centered around it, and yada yada yada, but we don't need to be abusive to the players that can't handle that, or more importantly, just want to warm up their aim against players that are moving. Like, yeah, you can warm up against bots and whatever, but Overwatch, a lot of the characters are incredibly skillful to use. This could help people ease into characters, especially when you're learning a character. I know they have the play against bots function in the training mode where you go in there and shoot the bots and stuff. Nobody really wants to do that, I think. I think it would be much more fun for people to jump into a skirmish and pick a character they've never used before and goof around with the abilities rather than doing it against fake bots. Because if you try to use a new character in a real game, you might get utterly destroyed because you're not fulfilling some role on your team that you need, because the game is so finely tuned that if one player's not really contributing, you might lose the game for your team, and that's too much stress to put on people sometimes. Number 3, I made a quick video about this on launch day. The voice channels need to always default to team. For whatever reason, Blizzard thinks if we're in a group, we want to be in a separate chat from our random teammates, ignoring the fact that most people who play in teams are using Skype, TeamSpeak, Raid Call, whatever. Anyway, it should default to team so you at least can talk to your teammates. You don't have to pull up that menu every time in order to switch it. Now, I think other things need to be done in order to incentivize people talking in this game, because I almost never hear any communication in a game that requires tons of synergy, tons of strategy. Hopefully in ranked play, we're going to see that, and I assume we will. But we got to get this community talking more. I love this game with all my heart, but without coordination, it can be a bit stressful. Number 5, loot boxes. We all love opening loot boxes, seeing what we get inside, the pretty colors, different emotes, whatnot. One thing that disappoints me a little bit is when you're searching for a game and you open a loot box, you hop right into the game and you may have missed what you opened up. Now, I know you can go back to the main menu and look through the hero gallery to see what new items you got, but then it's all organized in your stuff, and you have to dig through the things you already have in order to find it. There's something psychologically stimulating about it being displayed across almost like a table, like you're unboxing it. It also makes it easy to quickly just click that item and hit equip. It displays it in a nice big way to help me appreciate the item. I think what they should do is allow that box that you opened to stay there when you go back to the main menu, instead of having it closed and just tucked away into your stuff already. I still want to enjoy those items. Human beings are very interesting creatures. It's like when you buy a new pair of shoes and you just can't stop looking at them. You're drawn to this newness, this freshness, and what it means to your life and your ability. It's the same thing in the game. When you have that new Tracer skin, you just want to have it set aside in a special place for a second. Got that new skin unlock smell. So I don't know if anyone's keeping track, but I'm going to pretend that we skipped all the way to number 9. Crosshair settings. I think there needs to be more crosshair settings. Other games have this where you can customize your crosshairs, every little aspect, how big it is, how wide it is, how much gap there is, all sorts of different things. I think that should be in Overwatch as well at some point. At the very least, we should be able to pick which crosshair we prefer for each character and set that individually, because some crosshairs, I like the default one because it has interesting descriptive information on it. For the most part, all the rest, I really want to use the regular big crosshairs. And the last thing that I think they should patch, number 10, I think the characters need better classifications, especially on the hero select screen. What I mean by that is, if we can compare to Dota 2, when you search through the long list of characters, you actually can select very specific things that the characters are good at, like flanker, jungler, etc. In Overwatch, you should be able to filter based on backline character, big damage dealer, counter pick, things like that, so that players can more easily understand the team they're building. Because right now, the only information it gives you on the screen is too many tanks, too many snipers, when in reality, 2 snipers might be the best setup that you have. Because I think there were some misconceptions in the community based on the simplicity of the titles of the different classes. You might think offensive is really good on either attack or dealing damage, when in reality, Genji and Tracer, they do a decent amount of damage, but nowhere near as much as a sniper would. Instead, Genji and Tracer should have a flanker tag attached to them. Pharah is a damage dealer, but so is Bastion, Widow, and Hanzo, and those are counted as defense heroes. If the player was able to select these filters, they could better understand which characters are good at doing what. It would increase players' ability to learn the game and start building better team compositions and filling the roles of their team. Alright guys, that's been it for me. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. My name is Frito for Your Overwatch. I'll see you guys next time.